paid in full. You know who got paid in full? Fucking Andre Drummond got paid in full.
Ooh, yes.
Lot of money that boy got. He is one of the most overpaid players in recent memory. That 2016, 2017, those 2 years, guys just got an absurd, ungodly amount of money that they did not deserve. Listen, I want everybody to get their money. Whatever the world is willing to pay you, get it all. Get it all.
Oh, certainly.
But that does not preclude me from evaluating you based on how much you get paid. And I don't think that value matches up with the amount that he has gotten paid. But God bless him. So the news of the weekend, Andre Drummond took a buyout from the Cleveland Cavaliers and was the belle of the ball. Where would he sign? He's getting closer and closer to making his decision like LeBron James, press conference style. Will he go to the Boston Celtics? He is getting closer. Will he go to the Miami Heat? Will he go to the Nets? Which made no sense. Nope. He went where everybody had been talking about him going pretty much all year. LA Lakers. Interesting that Dan Gilbert let that happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, we all kind of saw the writing on the wall that it was going to be to the Lakers, and his contract is in the amount of $794,536 that he gave back in his buyout with the Cavs. It's a very friendly signing that will still allow the Lakers to remain under the cap and sign a 15th player.
Yikes. Great for them. Terrible for the rest of the league. Just terrible. Just sickening. But oh, how the mighty have fallen. Andre Drummond is just one of many players that is at the end of his contract. 5 years, $127 million that he signed for. Just let that sink in. A guy who was discarded by the Detroit Pistons and then discarded by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Two teams that you would think would want to hang on to a guy like that. And they said, no, we'd rather have Jared Allen. We'd rather have anyone else on the Detroit Pistons. But it's crazy because he is the best rebounder in the NBA right now.
Oh, yeah, easy.
The best. And I didn't know this until we were doing some research. He is one of the best rebounders in the history of the game. In his last 3 years, this is an interesting stat, he's averaged 15 or more rebounds a game. And that is more 15 rebounds a game seasons than the entire NBA combined in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I believe that.
Monster.
I mean, 15's, that's a shit ton of boards.
That's a shit ton of consistent boards.
Yeah.
So why did he get traded by one of the worst teams in basketball and then get bought out by another terrible team? There's a new article, and that's detailing it why. This guy, Chris Herring, did a deep dive called Great headline. I am like a sucker for headlines. The headline is Bored to Death. Welcome to the NBA where rebounders have little value. What a great fucking article title. I love that.
Yeah.
In it, he argued the big man of yesterday is truly a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean, he argued that it's the death of rebounding. I don't know if I'm quite there, but it was very interesting what he had to say.
Where do you stand on rebounding?
I mean, I still think a guy that can go up and get you 12, 13 a game has value, but not if he clanks up the court and just shrinks it and can't do anything. If that's your only thing you can do, then yeah, we have problems. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Look at the waiver wire right now. LaMarcus Aldridge, Gorgie Jang, Blake Griffin, Boogie Cousins, Marquise Chris. Guys like Hassan Whiteside as well, an elite rebounder, defensive specialist, block monster, getting 0 minutes in Sacramento, rumored to be waived. Just, those are the guys. They are the dinosaurs in terms of the type of game that they've had. LaMarcus Aldridge is a little bit different.
A little bit, yeah.
And Blake Griffin to a degree as well, but those guys were big men that were there to be the defensive specialist and also grab boards.
I do think Drummond is much better than all of those guys, though.
At rebounding.
To be fair.
At rebounding.
I think as a whole.
You think as a whole? Hassan Whiteside is not that different statistically than Andre Drummond.
I know statistically, but if you watch him, Drummond's a better defender. Like Hassan will get some blocks, but like he gets it put on.
The thing is, they both decide when and where and how they want to share and spread their effort. They're not always consistently giving you the effort that you want, which is why I think him going to the Lakers is a huge deal. But why is this happening? Why are big men being thrown overboard just about everywhere? Why did Danny Ainge feel like his starting center, Daniel Tice, was the expendable piece in the salary dump? So the answer is that the game has changed. Teams are starting to catch up, and we are now seeing that the game has evolved and has taken time for NBA GMs to essentially get on board with that philosophy. They were paying guys that they should not have been paying for things that were not currently matching up value-wise. Like you said, it's not like NBA rebounding doesn't matter. It's just that you have to also do other things at that same exact time as well in order to be valuable. You cannot make $127 million and only rebound and defend. Sorry. That's just not enough to give you staying power. The league, as we know now, I don't understand. The question is, why do people not want to get on board with scoring being the most important thing in the NBA?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's what you kind of see in baseball where people just hang on to just I don't want to say boring, but just hang on to old fundamental aspects of the game that they don't like seeing going away for some reason. Like, I don't know. I think it's driven in like what we learn in youth sports and shit, and it really doesn't play into modern athletics. There
are a lot of people on the internet that get very mad at me because I value we'll call it talent evaluation on players overweight scoring. But that's the NBA where we are. Mm-hmm. The NBA is overweighting scoring. So I am going to overweight scoring as well. The league values scoring over everything else. That's the cold, hard facts. No matter what your position is, you have to score. You can't be a center that can't score anymore. Andre Drummond has an atrocious jump shot. That's a problem. I don't even know what he does with his arms. I don't even know what's going on.
It is bad.
Rebounds, defense do not matter as much, especially when other positions need to rebound. Because here's how we break it down. If the three-pointer is king and you're shooting from the logo and it doesn't go in, anyone who understands physics, I think it's physics, understand, I think so. Angles? I don't know. Is it I don't know if it's trigonometry, math, angles. It's physics. The ball hits the rim at a certain, it is physics, force and momentum, power, whatever. We'll just throw out some buzzwords. And the way that the ball comes off the rim is going to rebound further away from the basket than Andre Drummond can go and get it. It's going to probably go past back out to the three-point line where other guards and forwards who are on the wing anyway are in a position to get that rebound. So therefore, 15 boards for Andre Drummond is even more spectacular right now, but not as important because how important the three-point line is. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay. That's how you get Luka averaging 9 rebounds a game. That's fucking absurd. So what you really need in the NBA are forwards and guards who can rebound. Not so much centers who can rebound because they need to be away from the paint anyway. They need to be allowed to give Damian Lillard the space that he can and needs to go to the hole. Yeah. So David Cowens, a former legendary rebounder, told SI in this article, it used to be that the lane was crowded, where there'd be a free-for-all to grab a board. Now you look up and only guys you're contending for a rebound with are your teammates. Guys are just getting back. Like the Stan Van Gundy style. You see the ball not go in the hoop, you just run the other direction. Just don't even try. I don't know. I agree with the article, but we can't just act like Andre Drummond is discardable only because he's just a rebounder. I think it's really because he makes so much damn money.
Oh, well, yeah. And he's been on teams that are rebuilding. I mean, that's the reason he's been, thrown away.
So Hassan Whiteside went from 4 years, $98 million in 2016, he went from making $27 million last year to this year making $2 million in Sacramento, not being able to get any playing time whatsoever. There are now rumblings that he might get bought out this year. So that's the reason why, is like this is a very this is a highly needed skill, just not a highly paid skill, right? Mm-hmm. You're now a rotation guy. If you can't score Hassan Whiteside, which you can't, we just have no use for you. And LaMarcus Aldridge, him too. He signed a 2-year, $50 million contract with the Spurs in 2019, which really would not have ever been paid to anyone else on any other team, except for Greg Popovich is just still very firmly on board with paying these big men, no matter what. Tim Duncan, David Robinson.
That was kind of a loyalty contract, too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand.
No, but...
Fuck LaMarcus Aldridge. Gorgie Jang, also now about to get picked up for the Spurs. They got rid of Marquise Chris just so that they could put Gorgie Jang on the team.
I called that.
Did you? Yeah.
I didn't call it, but I just said he will hate Marquise Chris.
Yes, I remember that. I saw the Gorgie Jang signing and I was like, yes, Greg Popovich is like a fucking drug addict, jonesing for his big man in the center who can block shots and get boards and be this like defensive presence for your team and be this leader, this like highly affable guy that everyone circles and centers around. I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. So Andre Drummond signing with the Lakers, I like the fit. Probably could have fit in with the Heat, Celtics, or Brooklyn. But what an embarrassment that riches is for the Lakers and for the Nets. I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just a harsh reality that basketball is now changing. Offense is key. The three-pointer is trumping everything. Teams are just valuing shooting and passing over rebounding and defense, and the traditional center is now a victim of these times. So that's why a 7-2 monster like Roy Hibbert can be out of a job at 30. That's just an insane, sad story.
How that happened. I mean, it was the speed with which Roy Hibbert fell off that is really insane. Like, he was an all-star in 2013-14. He was an all-star, defensive player of the year candidate, and by the playoffs, he was unplayable.
Yeah, it was like you close your eyes. It's almost like spring has sprung, right? There's this little building outside of my apartment, and I walk my dog there every day, and it was like dirt. And then all of a sudden I woke up one morning and the plants were like a foot high.
Yeah.
It's like you wake up and it's like Roy Hibbert's no longer playable. You wake up, Gorgie Jang's not a player. Woke up, all of a sudden Andre Drummond is no longer useful at this contract. So we're going to see that happen, I think, more and more. I think more trees are going to continue. It's like the death of the running back to a degree, and then the resurgence, obviously, of the running back. Yeah. As the offensive styles change, that dictates which positions get paid and, you know, how highly coveted they are.
Yeah, so I like that.
I think the only team really the tree is valuable for is as long as Greg Popovich is still alive coaching basketball, there's a place for you somewhere. But I think that's the only place. Thanks for listening and watching This League on YouTube. If you like this content, please hit the subscribe button right here. More content will come your way straight to your feed. Thanks for watching.